Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom. On today's show, Kyle Bauer talks with Richard Carlson, the Kansas Secretary of Transportation. Next, enjoy this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Then we're back with Kyle, who visits with Lindsey Douglas, the Kansas and Missouri Director of Public Affairs for Union Pacific Railroad. And then we meet a rancher from Colorado who shares his views on change in the cattle business. We'll end with Plain Talk. Stay with us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum. Growers working together. Find out more at kansasgrainsorghum.org.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Let's join Kyle Bauer and Richard Carlson for their conversation about ag issues and the importance of farm-to-market roads.
I'm able to visit with the Kansas Secretary of Transportation, Richard Carlson, talking about agricultural issues and roads in general. Of course, roads are an important part of agriculture.
Well, they're extremely important in terms, especially with farm-to-market type roads where you have a lot of transportation of crops, wheat, milo, sorghums, moving to farm to market. And in many cases, you go from not only just to the elevators, but you use not just our roads, but also our rail.
Well, that's one thing that people don't understand. As Secretary of Transportation in Kansas, you are involved with rail and other modes of transportation as well.
Well, that's absolutely correct, Kyle. We're involved. I think we just did some competitive grants and for an intermodal, transmodal, actually is what it's called. Place we approved one at Great Bend. I think that's now operational, and we also funded a portion of the one at Garden City, which is now just under construction. And one of the things they're using at Garden City that's even currently happening there, I think they've got like a 900-acre site that they're using, but the turbines come in for the wind turbines on rail and then are transferred to the trucking industry and moved out to site and erected. So it's all part of the agro system.
Well, and of course, the wind farms are part of the income that comes to rural agriculture as well. And of course, you drive down the roads, you see those turbines and blades constantly. So if you can run things by rail, it takes some pressure off the roads.
Well, that's correct. We do have great roads in Kansas. If you travel our neighboring states, generally we always get great comments. Our road system, they're graded on a national scale as poor, fair, or good. And good on the interstate system is if you have an 85% rating. We have a 97% rating on our interstate systems. Our state roads are good is at 80%, and we're at 90% level. So we've got excellent roads in Kansas, and we hope to maintain them in that same standard.
Because we have such good roads, is that one of the reasons that the legislature has been able to use some of that money the last few years to balance the budget? I mean, it's been a lot of money.
Well, and they have used a lot of money. However, that's not uncommon over the years. Different administrations have used KDOT for some of their other funding sources. But one of the things I think is very important to the people of Kansas need to know that we do have a dedicated funding stream besides that sales tax that they have used. And it totals about $900 million, and that includes motor fuel tax of about $350 million, federal funds, which are about $350 million. About another $200 million comes from mortgage or vehicle registrations. So with those dedicated funds, now we still had to delay a few projects, expansion and modernization projects, but we are doing, and which I think is extremely important, the preservation of our roads, the overlays, heavy preservation in some cases that will keep our roads in excellent condition, and that's where we want to be.
Kansas Secretary of Transportation, Richard Carlson. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Kyle. Folks, come back after these messages for this week's Kansas Soybean Update.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484. Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Belinda Burrier, a Maryland farmer and a director on the United Soybean Board, joins us. And Maryland High-O Lake soybeans were available in Kansas for the first time this year. What makes High-O Lake varieties different?
The difference is in Kansas, they just released the soybeans there, and the varieties have changed because they grow in different latitudes and they need different sunlight. So that's why they were just released in Kansas and different parts of the state.
So as yourself being a High-O Lake soybean farmer, what do you think of the varieties?
I think they have some excellent varieties, and the variety that we have planted this year has been excellent on the emergence. The emergence was fantastic. Their drought and heat tolerance is very good. They handled the stress that we had plenty of this year, and we were very pleased with it. We haven't begun our harvest of them yet, but the bean size are actually bigger, so we're looking for a very good yield.
So why do end-use customers want High-O Lake soybean oil?
End users are interested in High-O Lake oil because it offers a neutral taste in the oil and has zero trans fats, and the U.S. has an abundant supply potential and can fulfill their needs.
With High-O Lake soybeans being available in Kansas for the first time, are you seeing the number of acres planted for High-O Lake soybeans continue to grow?
Yes, the High-O Lake beans are actually starting to catch on here in our area, and their local buyer has actually doubled their number of soybeans planted in fields for 2017.
How is the Soy Checkoff involved in marketing High-O Lake soybeans?
High-O Lake beans are packed with an advanced soybean oil, and the farmers are going to win back the demand. And so the USD, the Checkoff, has been able to leverage the High-O Lake soybeans to help regain and expand their market share.
Do you think this market will continue to grow for those High-O Lake soybeans?
I do. As more and more consumers start to use the oil, they will see the benefits of it in many ways, and the farmer has started to increase their planting of the High-O Lake because they get a premium, which hopefully it'll continue on in for many years.
Belinda, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
That is Belinda Burrier, a Maryland farmer and a director on the United Soybean Board, as he joins us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us after the break for more Farm Factor with Kyle and Lindsey Douglas.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. To see this show and past episodes of Ag AM in Kansas, go online to agaminkansas.com. This segment brought to you by SureCrop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back with Kyle Bauer and Lindsey Douglas to discuss the Union Pacific Railroad's partnership with agriculture.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer. I have the opportunity to visit with Lindsey Douglas. She's with Union Pacific Railroad. Lindsey, Union Pacific has had a long history in Kansas moving high volumes of farm commodities, and it's really no different today.
That's correct. The ag market is our huge exports out of the state of Kansas, and Union Pacific moves a whole lot of grain out of Kansas.
Is there a particular direction UP likes to haul farm commodities, north, south, east, west?
We can typically make anything work. So wherever the demand is, we will take the grain there. We have a lot of infrastructure in Texas and down into Mexico. We control all 6 ports of entry into Mexico. We also have access to the West Coast ports and into Louisiana.
And of course, export of sorghum is a big part of the market that has been set on sorghum, but you probably run almost all the commodities into Mexico.
Yes, we have seen a huge opportunity kind of crop up out of Mexico with their change in ethanol and wanting ethanol in their gasoline. So we see a huge potential for sorghum in Mexico and are eager to start moving some of that south.
There's a lot of change in Kansas on intermodal. I mean, we're continuing to build facilities with intermodal. Where does UP come down on that?
Yeah, Union Pacific has an intermodal facility just across the state line in Kansas City, Missouri. We also know that there's another intermodal facility in Kansas. We do a lot of intermodal business and we've got capacity to move more. So as we've heard at this conference, there's a lot of potential for moving grain via intermodal containers to points abroad. And I think that that is something that Union Pacific would love to partner with the industry on.
Railroads make transportation so much more efficient than highways, just from the fact that so many truckloads would go on the train in general. Is there a certain niche that really fits rail really well?
You know, I would say when you have enough commodity to fill an entire unit train, that really gets the commodity to the end destination much faster. We can move that through very efficiently on our network. So that, that cost benefit there with having a full unit train is very beneficial, not only to our customers, but to Union Pacific as well.
A couple years ago, we were short of capacity in the railroads with moving oil out of the Bakkens and a big crop up north, moving coal. It isn't necessarily that situation today.
No, we have seen a reduction in coal movement. I think all the railroads have felt that. Union Pacific has as well. So we have the Powder River Basin in Wyoming that we move a lot of coal out of. We have seen that reduce both with the weather being kind of mild in the winter and the summer, and not as big a need, as well as some regulatory restrictions in that area.
We're visiting with Lindsey Douglas, and she's with Union Pacific Railroad. This is Kyle Bauer reporting.
Come back after the break to see how one rancher's business has changed over time.
The new Better Horses Network is worldwide. Presented by Lucas Oil. Featuring worldwide radio and TV with iconic hosts like Al Dunning, Sharon Camarillo, Ernie Rodina, Lindy Birch, and Craig Cameron. With American Cowboy, Horse and Rider, Brushy Creek, Cavenders, and Ride TV. Worldwide radio and TV. The all-new Better Horses Network.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back. Colorado rancher Jerry Hassert shares his philosophy on change in the cattle business.
Slowly building up their natural beef program, Top End Farms has always been focused on the next step.
We retain ownership all the way. We feed them ourselves at home. Humane handle all these cattle through walking the animals from pastures to the pens. And our operation's close enough we can do that without hauling them. We give vaccination shots as babies and as when we wean and in the feed yard. We keep expanding every year for different numbers because of premiums we get through producing top quality Angus beef.
With help from GeneMax testing and AI, selecting cattle for growth, marbling, disposition, and udder quality has become easier.
Gainability still pays the bills, so you have a big enough animal to sell when your time comes. So by doing that, increasing that carcass weights at the top side and increase the genetics for high choice and primes, we felt that by changing bulls over and keeping our genetics, we keep increasing as we go up.
Slowing down wasn't an option when faced with drought in 2010 and 2011.
And we fed cows in the summer to get us through the year. We didn't want to sell our cows if we didn't have to. So we just kept expanding the herd by keeping more heifers that we knew the genetics was coming. We just had to keep doing it.
They've invested in a ranch near Valentine, Nebraska to spread out weather-related risks. With that comes more opportunity for the future.
Our focus is to produce enough calves that in time our feed yard will be self-sustained through the producing of all of our calves off our own genetics into the yard and then sell them on up the line, which I think is a win-win for everybody. Talk about sustainability. No better word for us is keep going forward. Don't stop.
I'm Bob Cervera.
Business. Plain Talk is up next. Today, Kyle and Dwayne will discuss mascots.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Earlier in my life, I rode bucking horses in rodeos. My shoulders took such a beating, and that was probably the reason for having several previous surgeries on both shoulders. About a year ago, I decided that I didn't want to have another surgery. And so I contacted Kansas Regenerative Medicine, took their treatment process. It was relatively pain-free. Now, after 8 months, my shoulders have healed to the point where I think I'm probably 90 to 95% of normal. It takes a couple of months to start to see results and feel real progress. That continued to increase gradually until now at approximately 8 months. And I'm extremely pleased. I've got full range of motion. I can lift weights, I can throw, I can do a lot of things that I couldn't do without a lot of pain previously.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and Plain Talk with Kyle Bauer and Dwayne Taves.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Plain Talk with Dwayne Taves.
Kyle
Smirky.
Bauer, your Fact or Fiction question of the day. The mascot of the Texas A&M Aggies is Reveille the dog. Fact or fiction?
This is going to be bad if I miss this.
Reveille the dog.
Well, Reveille sounds about right. I don't remember a dog, though. I'll go with fiction.
It is fact.
Oh, shoot.
Reveille the dog, the Texas A&M mascot. Was actually the very first one was a stray. The Corps of Cadets picked up alongside the road.
Well, I imagine that's how we got the Wildcat. Somebody just
picked one up alongside the road.
Close.
Yeah.
You know, when I went to Kansas State University, he was carried into ball games in a box or in a cage in a.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there was a real bobcat.
A bobcat.
Yeah.
Not a wildcat.
Not a well.
Is a wildcat a bobcat?
Well, it was at Kansas State University, and I think most of the pictures I see, they certainly aren't cougars.
Close enough counts.
Let's talk global migrant remittance.
Global
migrant remittance.
GMR.
GMR. Yeah. Okay. That's when
you're an economics guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just think this is interesting. It's a new phenomenon. It's when you go to a new country and you send money home, because when we were populating this country by huge amounts of immigrants,
yes,
it's not like we aren't now, I guess. But anyway, people were so darn poor they couldn't spend any money home. In fact, they had to be sponsored by someone to come in a lot of times.
Absolutely.
Nowadays,
so they came here was a new opportunity.
A lot of people travel the world in order to find work and send the money home, and it's a major part of a country's gross domestic product. For instance, this has been a while, but the last I heard, we were sending about $40 billion a year from the United States back to Mexico in remittance. In other words, workers in the United States, the extra money they had, sent it back there. Well, in the world, it's up near $600 billion. Every year. $600 billion.
That's
right.
big business.
Now, in 1980, it was whopping $20 billion. This is a relatively new phenomenon and huge since the year 2000. I mean, it kind of increased just about the inflation rate between about 1970 and 2000. And since 2000, now why do you think that would be?
Is it money transfer?
I like doing that.
Yeah, I noticed. Money transfer safer to get the money back?
Oh, I don't know.
They probably had ways of doing it.
They had
then
it prior to 2000. Well, for one thing, the Middle East. Most of the workers in the Middle East are not born in the Middle East.
Right.
They are from the Philippines or Pakistan or the United States. I mean, we have a lot of contract workers. They're high-dollar contract workers in the oil fields over there. So would that money be sent home, be remittance?
I don't think so, because they're probably working for an American company that was contracted out.
Okay, so the foreign government's paying the American company, but we're paying you as an American in America.
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next week on Farm Factor. We're here every Tuesday on Ag AM in Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.